In our last episode, we covered the very nuanced history of reparations. Now we get into the nitty-gritty of reparations by highlighting a couple of ways to move the conversation forward.
This leaves us with the question of how do you right these wrongs? Where do we begin to rehabilitate, compensate, and guarantee that history won't repeat itself?
A couple things you can do today are call your local council person to push for reparative justice for your local African American communities. Support groups like the National African American Reparations Commission or the NAARC. Demand a formal apology from the United States government for their role in the slave trade and ensuring that African Americans receive what they are owed.
As marketers and business owners, how can we be agents of change in our everyday lives in the workplace? Representation.
Hire more Black people. Having Black people in leadership positions allows for our voices and thoughts to be well represented and a part of the overall conversation.
Salary.
Close the racial wealth gap. Stemming from the colonial period and seeping into today's time, the racial wealth gap is a financial phenomenon that documents how infrastructural discrimination sets back African Americans. The racial wealth gap will not close anytime soon if changes do not happen now.
Reassess company culture and practices.
Shift company culture to support Black employees. Although recruiting managers' concerns about a diverse workforce are on the rise, inclusion policies are still not up to par. Inclusion is what gives Black people a sense of safety so they can feel free to express their thoughts and be their genuine selves. Addressing company practices requires systemic reform, an analysis of our larger society, and active cooperation between businesses and other stakeholders.
Allyship.
Move away from performative behaviors because it's not genuine allyship. Genuine allyship is active instead of reactive to ongoing issues. Overall, allies must be careful to demonstrate true allyship via their daily actions, words, and choices rather than just talking about the subject.
Avoid publishing harmful narratives.
No tropes or stereotypes that reinforce negative ideals of African Americans. Ask yourself, how do we make sure people's stories, specifically African Americans, are told authentically and well-informed? This further expands on the reason as to why proper representation, both on screen and in the boardroom, is crucial. While this was just the tip of the iceberg, we hope that this inspires you to learn more about the importance of reparations for African Americans. Until the African American communities are given what they are owed, the push for reparations will continue.